Okay, so we've talked about the BIOS, and now we want to show you something about the command line. Now, the command line, CMD if you will, is a useful tool for you if you wanted to. Let's say you have a router on your network and you've forgotten what the IP address for the router is, and you want to log into your router, you need to know that IP address. Now, there is a tool within your operating system that allows you to find that out.
Yeah, the command prompt is a little shell, basic text that you can put some commands into that will reveal useful information. So the one we were going to look at was ipconfig.
Yep, that's the one.
ipconfig is a little command that'll give you some details about your network connections and addresses.
I know it sounds a little bit techie, but don't worry, we will guide you through it step by step. And you'll find that it's actually not that technical.
Yeah, it can be useful if you're troubleshooting and things aren't working.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at that. All right, Jared, so now let's show people how to get into their command line prompt if they want to find out where their router is, but they've forgotten the IP address, for example.
Sure. Well, the command prompt is a little shell that gives you access to a bunch of commands.
Yep.
And we'll look at particular ones. So
how do we get there?
Easiest way I find is just to go to the start button.
Yep.
And type CMD.
In the search bar, sure.
And you'll see it comes up. There's a program there, cmd.exe.
So let's click on it.
You hit that and you get the command prompt.
All right. So as you can see, it's a it's not graphical at all. It's all text.
Yes, that's right. It's ASCII.
Yep.
ASCII text.
And for this one, we want to find the IP address. Now, remember, the IP address is for it's the ease of finding something. Let's compare it to the registration on your car. Now, every single device on your system will have its own IP address, just like a registration on your number plate. And if you wanted to find your router, then you can find that by typing in the command ipconfig.
ipconfig. That
config. Then backslash, space backslash, all. And that tells us everything. As you can see, there's a lot of information there. Now let's go through a couple of them.
Well, one that's pretty important, well, not for most people and everything, but the real unique identifier of your network card is this here, this physical address.
Yeah.
All right. Every network card in the world has a different.
Yeah, and your network card is just the connection basically to your network.
And that's sometimes called your MAC address.
Yeah.
Then probably the other important thing is your IPv4 address. That's the address that you're getting assigned. And as you were saying before about the your router, that's actually your default gateway.
Yeah.
So that's this one here.
Yep. So if I wanted to log into my router, then I'd open a web browser and I would type in that address, correct?
That's right. So if we mark that one, you can see 192.1.1. This can vary. Sometimes it's 0.1.
Yeah.
Like
mine is 0.254, for example.
Yeah, but they tend to be about the same. So we can go into a browser and we can attach to our router.
Yep, and there you go. That was our router right there.
There's a lot of other stuff in there, but that's the main thing. We get queried a lot. How do I connect to my router? What is it?
Yeah.
So if you
those addresses that you see, the top one, the IPv4 one, 6 one, that's actually given to you by your router, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yep. And if you had a printer on there, or if you had anything else, then it would probably pop up.
On your network, it would. Here, it'll just be talking about the network devices directly attached to your computer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe we should do that one more time.
Yep.
We just go to CMD.
Yep.
And we type ipconfig. And we can get, in fact, if we don't do the /all,
it'll just
we just get the basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that'll still give you really what we talked about just there.
There's your default gateway. Now remember, the default gateway is always your router.
Yeah, it's your gateway to the internet.
That's correct. Excellent. So if you have forgotten your IP address and you want to find out because you want to log into your router and change any settings or whatever, then this is a very, very useful tool.
Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Fantastic.